So the 7L pattern is just a grouping of 4 of these pentatonic building blocks, okay? They're building blocks. I should say that here. I somehow I got a diagram that didn't say building blocks on it. All right, but these are the building blocks. So there they are. There's all 4 of them. So we have horizontal motion there. Okay, you can go from the S3L here, S3S here, to the S2L. The first 2 members of the S3S also share the notes of the S2L. So you would go 2, 3. If you didn't want to go up to the 5 there, you could go to the 5 there. So you could go 2, 3, 5, and then continue building from there. Because you don't want to go 2, 3, 5, and then 6 and 7. You're going too far up. And what are you doing? You're wasting time and wasting fingers, right? Because let's say you wanted to do this. You wanted to go, okay? But you didn't want to use the 2nd string. So you want, you're doing a lot of this, you know, and if you're going to slide that, you know, you're not hitting the note square on. What you want to do is use the fingers as if you were in the you want to use the fingers, not go like this. It'd be like, you know, typing with 1 finger. It's slower. You have more control when you do 4 note lines. Now that brings up what's going on over here, okay, which is 4 note lines. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 notes there. 1, 2, 3, 4 notes there, and trust me, there should be 4 notes on each one of the lines. 4 notes, 4 fingers. So we're doing good so far. Okay, we're doing good so far. So it'd be something like you'd have to use the pinky there. But there are repeat notes here. But like I say, you're not going to want to go to the 6 and then back to the 5 there. What I want to do is go 3, 4, 5. Here is a 7. Here is an S2L. See, it says S2L plus the long one. All right. The crux of this particular chart here is that I have our basic shapes. All right. Now I'm going to include the 7th and the 4th in the S3S. So we're going to include the 7th and the 4th in the S3S's. So they're right here. A little hard to see because now the red color. The S2L, the 7th and the 4th are embedded in between, so we still have the same box square. So here's your regular pattern stack. These guys, except that the S3S is on the bottom on this one, but it doesn't matter. It would just stack right up here again. It would just be right up there. All right. Didn't draw it particularly right, but that is supposed to undo there. In this diagram, the S2L is on the bottom. That's great, because guess what? We can start the entire keyboard from there. How do I know that? Okay, I know that we're going to have to erase some stuff for a time here. You know, because once you outline these things so much, all of a sudden they start to look the same, like we didn't outline anything. If you highlight too much, you got a yellow book. Make a phone call. Let your fingers do the walking. Okay, so we're going to go back in time here for a second. I don't know why we wanted to look at that. We've got Here with the 3, 4, 5, we got the C here. This little 7R2 deals a little hat on there, and then there's an L shape here. Okay, the E, the 7R2 comes up from Zongo and goes away up top, and it becomes the little sole on the foot, the little tap dance guy, right? That's the little tapper. Okay, then that moves up and we get the A shape, starts with the 5 on the bottom. This is the top two members of an S3S. Here's your S3S. The top two members would be 7R2, 5, 6. 7R2, 5, 6. On the A, rather. 7R2, 5, 6. And then the whole pattern comes in on the D. That's why it's fun to play the D. Right there in the D's. 2, 3, 5, 6, R2. Or the whole pattern, you know. And then it goes into... is this warped? This is unwarped. Then it goes right into an S2L here, 6, 7R, 3, 4, 5, stacked right on top of it. This is unwarped. We haven't changed the tuning on the top two strings yet. Okay, for that D shape, I probably messed up that last string. The I's and the strings are getting smaller. But you take it all the way up the line. When we warp it, it becomes the normal D shape. So, and then we have the G starting on the 6. Now let's go forward in time, and we're going to look at this diagram, but we really don't need the pink notes. The pink notes are the notes actually outlined in a stack of 3 extra long, and these things really exist. Here's a G note, and in the key of C, starting from this 5, it becomes a dominant pattern, adding the 9th note or whatever. Okay, adding the 6 again. Okay, it's not adding a 9th. It's not a 9th. It's not fair to call it a 9th because I'm not referencing this as the root. I'm referencing this as the 5th of whatever key it is, whatever key. Okay. So this is the other perfect pattern that I discovered when I couldn't get the sunken notes down here. My other guitar is tuned differently. Okay, it's tuned the same, but it's labeled differently to the point where this was labeled a C, and I wanted to get this thing. Well, guess what this is? That's this, R2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's how I found out about these long guys here. And I found out that they had to be worked into the act somehow. And they're unique. We want something that's unique and whole, that this isn't going to change. It's not partial pattern. So then I wanted to find a way to see where these overlap with these guys, and how can I go from these familiar patterns to one of these guys. And I found out that every single one of these lines in this pattern stack, which is the simple 2 patterns, okay, the 2 patterns right here is the only patterns you'll ever have to know, really. But once you learn this, it gets interesting again. Over here, these are your patterns. Every one of these lines is unique. Okay, no line has the same notes up to here, and then they repeat. Down here, we have the same patterns. All I'm doing is adding this 6, 3, 7 to these patterns here, okay? I'm adding 1 note out of each one of these lines, because remember, every one of these lines is only going to go into one of these lines, not all 3 of them. We're not going to go take off and do, you know, you know, some people like to do a major scale like that all the way up the fretboard. That's not what we're doing. So we got 3, 2, 1.